There's an odd synchronicity. I was in. You put me in like pain like that, but I was figuring we would be better for all of us if I got some sleep tonight. Even though it's like but you put this pain in my leg, but it happened to coincide with them saying something on that. That's a synchronistic pain you just put in there. I'm not making light of it, but they were making a funny reference to communist Russia. No, to the fact that to people who are sympathetic to the type of authoritarian dictatorship development state like that was calling itself communist in Soviet Union. That's the thing though. See, like when I just wondering maybe the pain was just like, what do you have to say about that as far as like our country moving, See, first of all, that's one of those things where like that dictatorship like and all like authoritarian governments are different. Like put it that way, I don't know anything about them. I'm not a political person. Not in the sense of like studying different kinds of political history, but we speculate. I'm not. There's a historian to that, but just in general, like right, I guess they're all different. The Falange in Spain and or Lenin or then whatever, they're all different depending on what's up. But I'm saying right, I mean if conditions here, because of everything we said, were to get to the point where like in Weimar Germany the people were open to like something they wouldn't have been open to before, that was a type of like authoritarian leader that everyone is behind in this way because you know, someone that what they mentioned in that thing, the Daily Worker, like the guy was reading the Daily Worker. I guess was a Marxist paper, but it's a comedy the show. But the point is like right. I mean, people know like Hitler had founded the German Workers' Party. That's like like it was someone who was. What case if conditions here get so bad that we go into a situation where there's some kind of, it would just be an incredible consolidation of power in the executive branch. But to say like what kind of government would it be that is like well, that's just it, because when things get catastrophic in terms of economic conditions, it will become clear there's only one reality. This left right thing is imaginary. Like it really is. I'm saying like right. I mean, if it would be someone. I mean, it would be that left right thing would vanish right away. It would be. I mean, there can be no to say it would be an executive branch that was like consolidated with like it was a far left wing government. That doesn't really without any industry. There's no. I mean, there's no. Where would everyone be working? I mean, it would be a whole thing to build a national economy, to discipline transnational capital, and to stop us all from starving because the money has no value. If it got that bad, if they switched, if they were to, if everything we said in the other videos happens, but know what kind of government? Like, would it be a left-wing government where the left and right don't apply, as they didn't? Not that it's a good comparison, but we would never want to be a genocidal, World War II dictatorship like that in Germany. But what was the main feature? Hitler had founded the German Workers' Party, but when they had the authoritarian dictatorship, it was based on cross-class solidarity. Matter of fact, there's a great book by a Jewish historian, or Jewish theorist historian called Zev Sternhill. He's a Jewish has a PhD or whatever, wrote this book called about the rise of fascism, and explained it as like a far right, what do you call that, anarchist fascist synthesis. Which was an interesting way of describing it, like far left and far right, meaning like the sort of owners and the workers, like the two ends of the thing, a lie against whatever it is that's happening because it's so bad. So right, it wouldn't be a matter of left and right anymore, any more than you don't. The fact that Hitler founded the German Workers' Party, like the fact that when he came to power, investment in Germany shot up. Why? Because everyone supported one leader. Even though he workers, he had found the Workers' Party, but I mean he and like labor was in. It was an authoritarian government, so nothing was very stable. International investment shot up in Germany under Hitler, even though he had been the one who founded the Workers' Party. Like that kind of left right like that way of things being vanishes when there's like an authoritarian government based on the building of the whole. So they say like we'd have this huge manufacturing base, but all the wealthy people's money would be like redistributed. Well, no. Someone owns whatever it is that's doing the manufacturing. These imaginary left-right things that only exist in like when there's class war. Class war means there's no authoritarian government. Do you know what I'm saying? In a democracy, you could have a class war. No, I mean, if everyone was following one powerful executive branch with a national sort of mission, right? I mean, it would be cross-class solidarity. It wouldn't be like everyone like they're gonna industry is forced to give over all its money to the poor and the workers, and they'll work nowhere because there'll be no industry. And there'll be no investors. It doesn't work that way. If we had we have a free country. We have a free country that's pluralistic, that's like a melting pot in reality, that's always getting more progressive with a lot of pushback from like but the truth is like we wouldn't have a dictatorship. What we'd have is a incredible amount of power consolidated in the executive, and the agenda would be shared by all. Because at that point, they would have a program that was about building the whole economy. And this war between the classes, like way of looking at things, and Republican, Democrat, and left right would have no relevance to such a thing. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a powerful executive leading us all one way, because people would be in class conflict, investors and workers and the poor. This would be, by definition, if everyone was behind one government or one leader or one policy, it would be because it benefited the whole. And we are a free country and a democracy. So it would just be an incredibly powerful executive branch. That would be our version of it. But that would only happen if the actual catastrophe happens economically. But maybe that would be a blessing, because then, being that we're the military power, if we hadn't had that kind of whatever the incarnation authoritarian government that everyone was behind here looked like, then we could discipline transnational capital. Once it say that you can't put it back, capital controls. No, you can't gank $2 billion out of our economy because you don't like us the currency dipping a little. We know the agro sector that is based here but is no longer, it has nothing to do with America almost, and is just operating. No, you cannot take 70% of the water so the entire planet dies of thirst. Can't do that anymore. We'd be able to discipline that sector. That's transnational capital. We can stop. That has to be stopped. What they're doing. That's not like American business doing that. It's unrelated to any economy. Remember that. It's unrelated to any economy. And the movement of blocks of currency is driving all the societies, including ours, into a like sort of low growth, low wage, mass poverty situation. All governments have all economies have the same problem, just a matter of degrees. So yeah, that's what we want to see. Some kind of thing, but that's what I'm saying. If the economic collapse comes, it'll be a blessing, maybe. These are just speculations in the middle of the night. Just the thought experiment. Is this something that's helpful? This kind of speculation, something to think about. Get your imagination going. That's a lot of pain though in my leg, but that happens to line up with something that the guy said. Is he a friend? How do you know he's a communist? He's like, I don't know. Does he wear drab olive colored clothing? I think he does. Like he's a communist.